Ahoy folks, Lazy Gamer here with an overview of the Humble Choice bundle for August of 2020. I'll be going through the games and the charity in some detail, offering an idea of each one along with my 2 cents of this month's choices. This is my first look into them. I only redeem the games I personally am interested in playing after researching and gift the rest. What's that?
What are your gift to?
Active members of my community, cause I have no IRL friends.
Too much effort, go cry me a river.
Anywho, we're greeted by Wargroove, Vampyr, and Hello Neighbor as the featured games this month on the front page of Humble. I had no idea what these games were about. I did recall some ads a while back for Hello Neighbor, but didn't remember its plot, game mechanics, or anything, so I was indifferent about seeing them. Though after looking into the games, which we'll get to, I did become intrigued with them. Also featured on the front page, this month's charity is Hyper International, a non-profit organization based in 21 countries helping end world hunger and poverty. They invest in farmers and business owners to strengthen local economies and improve lives through training them to improve the quality and quantity of their goods, also offering guaranteed livable incomes. A part of their charitable model is passing on the gift, where at the community level, families and individuals who've received animals can be donors, working up to creating a cycle of self-sufficiency and sustainability. So they do deal with livestock. F to all the vegans and vegetarians out there. Still, I'm all for ending world hunger and poverty. Personally, it does sadden me, and it amazes me that people on this planet are still starving in the year 2020. Everyone at this point, I feel, deserves easy access to the basic human needs. Though apparently a lot of progress has been made in getting people out of poverty, and that's great to hear, but just deeply feel that there should be no one impoverished at all at this point. Priorities all mixed up, but before I really get started on it, I'm gonna leave it there and link their website in the description, hypher.org. Feel free to check out their organization in more detail there. From my first look, it seems noble and just. Always curious how things work within the organization and at ground level, but I'm glad to know my money's going towards ending hunger and poverty, being a legitimate organization. Onto the choices page. First thing you probably notice is that orange banner on top stating being able to keep every game this month if you're on the classic or premium plan. That means within the next 5 days since uploading this video, if you're a new subscriber and grab the highest tier of the Double Fine 20-year anniversary bundle, which is about $9 US, you get 1 free month towards Humble Choice Premium, getting all these games as well as all 12 in this month's Humble Choice, like a 2-for-1 special. Something to consider and undoubtedly a bargain. Before getting to this month's choices, I'll mention last month's bonus game unlocked was Vikings Wolves of Midgard, currently sitting at mixed reviews overall on Steam. It's an action hack-and-slash RPG reminiscent of Diablo. Top-down RPG games I haven't played in a long time, most fond memory of them being RuneScape way back when. Worth noting from a number of reviews by the community, they're saying the devs aren't updating it anymore, making online unplayable, and some other bugs remaining in the game. I'd say it wasn't worth subbing just for this bonus game last month, as well as for the game itself. I'd pass on playing it, but I'm sure folks into this style of game and Viking lore may enjoy it regardless. As for this month's games, starting from the bottom of the list, working our way up, begins with A Case of Distrust at number 12, set in San Francisco, 1924. It's a 2D indie adventure and detective style game where you play as an out-of-work private investigator, Phyllis Cadence Malone, who accepts a case that turns out to be more complicated than initially perceived. Tackling issues of the era and visiting landmarks across San Francisco, Malone speaks with various kinds of characters to uncover the mystery she's taken on before submitting her findings to authorities for indicting and sentencing. Features highlighted are a hard-boiled mystery, working past deceptive characters towards the truth, 1924 San Francisco with historically accurate details, Saul Bass-inspired visuals and scene transitions, finger-snapping music that gives style to the roaring 20s, themes of poverty, racism, and emancipation that tie into contemporary issues. I'd say it looks good. I personally don't see these games often and would be a nice change of pace from what's mainstream. Sitting at very positive overall on Steam and received a number of awards too, which is always great. Its style is nice and simple. Colors seem perfect for the time and game it's set in, even though they may not look too eye-catching. I wouldn't mind considering giving it a shot. I'm interested, though probably will gift this. At number 11 is We Were Here Together. Note, it's a co-op only game where both players need a working PC compatible mic and internet connection, so I'm guessing also 2 copies of the game too. It's adventure and puzzle rich. Set in Antarctica, you and your companion must communicate and work together, launching a rescue mission to help your fellow explorers in trouble after an emergency flare was fired and a distress call made, awakening you from uneasy dreams. Starting at the research base, you'll need to find your way to the distress flare, eventually leading you to a medieval haunted castle where you solve puzzles, uncover secrets, and face dangers. Beginning with nothing but your wits and walkie-talkies, observation, smart communication, and teamwork will be the only way to escape the sinister Castle Rock. It looks to be the 4th installment of a series, with a We Were Here trilogy before this game, which expands on the gameplay length, puzzles, mechanics, and the storyline. Features highlighted for the game are a spine-tingling story, uncover a dark history, and become closer acquainted with the malevolent being known only as the Jester. Who or what is he? A walkie-talkie is also a feature, highlighting the importance of communication. The game being puzzle-packed and mysterious locations to discover. This game reminds me of a mesh between BioShock and Ratchet & Clank with its style and 3D cartoonish design. Almost too cartoonish for my taste, but what got me was it strictly being co-op only. Don't think I've heard of a game like that. First time here. Can imagine it would be great to play with family or friends. Some solid one-on-one bonding, yeah. Definitely looks fun, and I'd like to experience this one, but it'd have to be from the beginning of the series, all 4 games in order. Just a shame I don't have any friends. At number 10 is the Coma 2 Vicious Sisters, an indie survival horror adventure presented as a 2D side-scroller. You play as Minna Park, a student of Sewa High, who awakens at night in her school, soon realizing something's wrong, with familiar places becoming twisted by a sinister entity. She becomes pursued by someone or something that eerily looks like her teacher. To survive, Minna must venture beyond the boundaries of her school and into the surrounding district. There, she'll encounter strange creatures, mysterious strangers, and uneasy allies. The Coma 2 is an atmospheric, story-driven game with an engaging cast of characters, puzzles to be solved, and clue discovery, all while surviving against a relentless psycho. Fun times. I'd say this game looks pretty good. I'm a fan of the horror genre, not so much 2D side-scrolling or platformers though. This game has me considering revisiting them 2D games. If I was to play one, this would be on the list. Sitting at overwhelmingly positive on Steam, it's looking like a solid pick. Definitely one to gift. Next up at number 9 is American Fugitive, a 3D top-down open-world sandbox that instantly reminded me of the original GTA with that top-down view. Funny going through the description now. IGN is quoted saying GTA Chinatown Wars plus Dukes of Hazzard plus X Time Splitters developers equals American Fugitive. Also states the game is inspired by the classic GTA, being a modern take on it. Straight up looks fun, puts a smile on my face, bringing back good memories. Set in Red Rock County in the 1980s, a sleepy American town with a booming criminal underbelly. You play as Will Riley, no angel, but not a killer either. Yet the cold-blooded murder of your dad is a crime they locked you up for. Fueled by grief and a burning desire for vengeance, you'll bust out of jail, intent on finding the real culprit. Once outside, you'll need to blend in with the townsfolk to avoid recapture, establish contact with the criminal underworld, and stay one step ahead of the police dragnet. Key features highlighted in the game are a modern take on classic sandbox action with destructible environments, dramatic storytelling, and epic car chase mayhem. A mature action game based on an original story filled with mystery, deception, and corruption. A stunning open world environment, choosing the life of a felon, time trial and stunt jumps, and a number of other activities like taking jobs, uncovering hidden stashes, looting houses, sticking up stores, or fencing fine art. It's sitting at mostly positive reviews overall on Steam. However, multiple comments talk about there wanting to be more content and less repetition to missions, as well as a balance to the money mechanics and unsatisfying ending. After looking into this game myself, I'd be interested in messing around with it for the sake of nostalgia, though don't see me putting countless hours into it. Probably one to gift. Up at number 8 is Through the Darkest of Times, an indie historical strategy and simulation adventure game set in Berlin 1933. You play as the leader of a small resistance group of ordinary people who can't stand aside from the regime's actions. Your goal is to spread awareness about what the Nazis are really up to among the people by dropping leaflets, painting messages on walls, sabotaging, gathering information, and recruiting more followers, all while staying undercover, risking grave danger of each member if caught. Considering the game's historical accuracy, you won't be able to change the outcome of the war, nor prevent all of the Nazis' atrocities, but you can do everything in your power to save as many lives as you can and oppose the fascist system wherever possible. I usually play games to escape reality, not feel more depressed about existence. Looks good though for what it is. Seems like it's portraying exactly what it's meant to, with the somber mood, taking on a serious topic. Definitely respect where it's due. Sitting at very positive on Steam, so it must have been well developed. Personally just not a fan of 2D games, as I've mentioned, so I'd be gifting this to someone else more interested. Next at number 7 is Automachef, a resource management puzzler where you design kitchens, program machinery, and watch your genius come to life. Take on challenging puzzles like kitchen fires or lacking a sufficient supply of hot dogs. What a contrast between this and the last game. It looks simple and fun for what it is, definitely a sign of what's to come in the future for the restaurant industry. Owner has an engineering degree and you're set. Sitting at mostly positive on Steam. This would be a game I'd gift, not my cup of tea. Short but sweet, fairly straightforward with the type of game it is. At number 6 is Genesis Alpha 1 Deluxe Edition, a sci-fi roguelike FPS where you build, maintain, and navigate your way through a galaxy filled with hostile alien and human threats. Explore, create, and survive the militarized space race in order to secure humanity's future. Highlighted features would be vessel building, upgrading, and exploring within, battling alien infestations before becoming overwhelmed by them, destroying you, your crew, and ship. Cloning and creating new life forms, resource gathering and exploration of planets, as well as huge randomized galaxies, ensuring every run to be unique. Steam reviews have it sitting at mostly positive overall, with some saying it could be fleshed out further, with more content and better execution. From my first impression, it does look great. It's got a horror element to it which I enjoy, and definitely a fan of sci-fi and space exploration, traveling to new planets and all, so I'm pretty tempted to give it a shot. Would consider grabbing this for myself. Up at number 5 is Little Big Workshop, a 3D building management simulator with a fun cartoonish appeal. Used to play games like these all the time because that's all the PC could handle. A bunch of tycoon games. Looks like any other one of those. Focused in on a factory business, creating anything and shipping them off to customers. Good luck competing with Amazon. Looks fun though for what it is. Features highlighted are building your factories from scratch the way you want, with managing workers, purchasing machinery, designing efficient production lines. There's a fully simulated day and night cycle, model town art style, unlockable machines as you progress, adding more production methods, and most of all, more room to unlock. Take it easy all the while though, with an open-ended sandbox experience, doing what you like. Very positive overall on Steam, with some critics saying it could have been more in depth, and some issues with the AI. Personally, it does look fun, but too cartoonish for my taste. Its style looking more oriented towards kids. We'll be gifting this one here. At number 4 is Call of Cthulhu, and yoink, that's mine. Definitely snagging this one for the stream and the YouTubes. Late to the party, not playing this yet myself, but I am looking forward to it. Got a feeling it needs no introduction or description by me, but briefly, Call of Cthulhu is a Lovecraftian psychological horror RPG set in 1924, where you play as a private investigator named Pierce sent to Darkwater Island to look into the tragic death of the Hawkins family. Plunge into a world of creeping madness and cosmic horror. Cryptic clues, shadowy figures, and pure terror bar your way as you fight to retain your sanity and solve an otherworldly mystery. Steam has it sitting mostly positively overall, with some commenting negatively on puzzles becoming trial and error. Lip syncing being off with the audio, choices apparently not having much impact, not really worth replaying, rather just viewing the endings you don't get on YouTube. Personally still interested in giving this game a go due to some epic lore and horror elements, see how I end up finding it. I've heard hallucinations are a thing in this too, interested in seeing how those play out, personally can't wait to experience this. Next up at number 3 is Wargroove, an indie turn-based strategy game for up to 4 players. Choose your commander and wage turn-based war on battling factions. Design and share maps, cutscenes, and campaigns with easy-to-use editors and in-depth customization tools. The plot for the campaign mode is that a war breaks out in the kingdom of Cherrystone, where young Queen Mercia must flee her home. Pursued by her foes, the only way to save her kingdom is to travel to new lands in search of allies. But who will she meet along the way, and what sinister challenges will she face? Some features are 12 plus characters to choose from with their own personalities and motivations, unique ultimate moves, creating your own adventures, online play, arcade and puzzle modes, as well as secret items and unlockables. It does look fun, nicely made, and it's sitting at very positive on Steam, with a few folks saying it's an average game of its kind. Looks like a grab if you're into these types of games, though this is one I'd be gifting. At number 2 is Hello Neighbor and Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek, the prequel. It's a 3D sandbox action-adventure horror platformer where you play as someone who sneaks into your neighbor's house to find out what horrible secrets he's hiding in the basement, the story expanding with hide and seek. Playing against an AI that learns from your every move, setting traps and figuring out its own shortcuts to catch you. First impressions actually looking into the game past its cover, it looks really fun. Definitely intrigued and challenging a learning AI. A bit too cartoon-like for my taste, but it does fit the game style, and the open world was a sell for me as well. Sitting at very positive overall on Steam for both of them. I'm tempted to keep this for myself to experience, though I might still gift it. Finally at number 1 is Vampyr, an action horror RPG where choices matter. Set in London, 1918, you play as a newly turned vampire, Dr. Jonathan Reed. As a doctor, you must find a cure to save the city's flu-ravaged citizens. As a vampire, you're cursed to feed on those you vowed to heal. Will you embrace the monster within? Survive and fight against vampire hunters, undead skulls, and other supernatural creatures. Use your unholy powers to manipulate and delve into the lives of those around you to decide who will be your next victim. Struggle to live with your decisions. Your actions will save or doom London. Features highlighted are fighting and manipulating with supernatural abilities, feed to survive, being the savior and the stalker, shape London, a web of interconnected citizens react to your decisions. Steam has it at mostly positive overall, with the most notable complaints being no fast travel and clunky combat. The ideas could apparently be further expanded on, as one review found the game to be a bit shallow. Personally, with the choices mattering, the supernatural lore, yet based in reality, has me sold. Didn't realize this is what this game is, with the trailer doing it justice as well for a first look. I do prefer werewolves over vampires, but this ain't some Twilight version of vamps. This definitely gets dark. I'm tempted to snag this one for myself as well. Tough to say if I was to pick between Vampyr or Call of Cthulhu, which I'd prefer to play for the first time. I'd lean to Call of Cthulhu since I'm more interested in that lore over vampires, which I'm more familiar with, but from the Steam reviews towards the games in their entirety, I'd lean towards Vampyr. We'll see, maybe both though. And last but not least, this month's DRM free extras are Booth, a sneak peek at Wildfire, and Zodiac XX. I personally don't bother with the extras, haven't played one yet, but respect to the developers completing and publishing a game on Humble. No small feat getting a game out there. Wasn't able to find any info on Booth and Zodiac with the 30-second Google and YouTube search I did, but I did find a trailer to Wildfire though. Check them out if you end up grabbing the bundle, if you will. Could be games you find enjoyable. All in all, my 2 cents towards this month's Humble choice is that it is great. Definitely a grab, especially for new subscribers with the Double Fine bundle as well. On top of that, you're keeping all 12 games this month under the Classic or Premium plan. That totals 43 games for $9 US for new subs only there. Regardless, this is the best bundle I've seen in quite a while. June and April were good, personally. This one I'd say is better than those though. Great month to start a sub, I'd say. More of a reason to continue mine. Also, since I'm keeping all 12 on the Classic plan, I'm not going to chop off 3 this month, keeping the peace. As for my personal top 3 picks though, they'd probably be Call of Cthulhu, Vampyr, and Hello Neighbor. What are your thoughts on the bundle? Would you grab or pass it? Your favorite game? Let me know in the comments below. Just to close, I do gift some of these games to active members of the community. Feel free to join the community on Discord to find out more and partake in game giveaways if you like. Also, a few games worth noting available for free courtesy of Humble Bundle and Epic Games would be F1 2018 on Humble Bundle, and Epic Games is offering Wilmot's Warehouse, as well as 3 out of 10 Episode 1, Welcome to Shovelworks. Links are all in the description. Grab them while you can if you're interested. Aside from that, I hope this overview was of some benefit. It's my 3rd time attempting to go over these monthly Humble Bundles, and I'm doing these solo, so any suggestions or ideas are always greatly appreciated. I also appreciate you folks tuning in. Take it easy and...